Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unmanned, drone registration included in DoD authorization bill. AT&T deploys flying cow in Puerto Rico. And Space Needle drone pilot charged with reckless endangerment. Hello, I'm Laura Hudson. Welcome to the Aero-News Network's Airborne-Unmanned program, a weekly news program covering all things unmanned in partnership with AUVSI, the Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International. A defense authorization bill that includes a return to civilian drone registration has been approved by House and Senate Conference Committee and is expected to be passed by both chambers and signed by President Trump. The language is included in the National Defense Authorization Act of 2018. It would again require the registration of drones weighing more than about half a pound with the federal government. AUVSI President and CEO Brian Wynne has expressed support for the policy, saying a drone registration system promotes responsibility by all users of the national airspace. The bill must still be approved by both the House and Senate before going to President Trump's desk. He is expected to sign the bill. In the next Unmanned Minute, let's take a brief look at a few of the shorter stories that are making the rounds of the unmanned vehicle communities. Boeing has completed the acquisition of Aurora Flight Sciences. Aurora will operate under Boeing Engineering Testing Technology as a subsidiary called Aurora Flight Sciences, a Boeing company. It will retain an independent operating model while benefiting from Boeing's resources. The Los Angeles City Council has unanimously approved guidelines for a drone program for the Los Angeles Fire Department. The vote again approving the program came over the objections of some groups who expressed concerns that the aircraft would potentially violate civil liberties. The guidelines allow the use of unmanned aircraft by the LAFD in emergencies where the complexity or scope of the incident require critical decision-making on the part of the incident commander. DJI has requested the help of Transport Canada to improve Canadian drone safety by working with DJI to develop a mandatory knowledge quiz for people before they fly a DJI drone for the first time. The DJI Knowledge Quiz will require drone pilots to correctly answer a series of basic questions about safe drone use before their first flights. The questions will appear in DJI Go 4, DJI's main flight app, which runs on smartphones and tablets connected to drone remote controllers. The Knowledge Quiz is being rolled out first in the United States. Uber and NASA are reported to be developing software that Uber hopes to use to manage flying taxi routes, which could work in a similar fashion as the company's current ground-based ride-hailing service that is used across the world. Uber says that it was the first formal services contract by NASA covering low-altitude airspace instead of outer space. That was our Unmanned Minute. Now back to the rest of the news. This cow might not be able to jump over the moon, but is helping residents of hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico make phone calls. COW is an acronym for Cell on Wings. It's a helicopter drone that is being used by AT&T to extend cellular service in areas where the infrastructure was severely damaged by Hurricane Maria. The experimental technology is providing data, voice, and text services to customers. This is the first time an LTE cell site on a drone has been successfully deployed to connect residents after a disaster. The flying cow is providing wireless connectivity to customers in an up to 40 square mile area. It flies 200 feet above the ground and can extend coverage farther than other temporary cell sites. LTE-connected drones hold a lot of potential. Exploring the capabilities of this technology in wake of Hurricane Maria's devastation will help temporarily restore connectivity and assess how first responders can use the drone in the future. Currently deployed in the San Juan area, the company says it plans to relocate the flying cow in the coming days to support additional areas, including the military hospital at Menotti Coliseum. The 20-year-old Pasco, Washington man who was operating a drone that impacted the top of Space Needle in Seattle on New Year's Eve 2016 has been charged with reckless endangerment and faces a fine and jail time. Cole Kelly was operating the drone that impacted an area near pyrotechnicians who were getting ready for a midnight fireworks show to ring in the New Year's. There were about half a dozen people on top of the iconic structure when the incident occurred at about 1400 local time. The structure was undamaged by the incident. Police allege Kelly violated federal law because he was operating the drone above 400 feet. According to the Seattle City Attorney's Office, the Seattle Municipal Code says a person is guilty of reckless endangerment when he recklessly engages in conduct which creates a substantial risk of death or serious bodily injury to another person. Kelly is due in court on November 22nd. Well, that's our program for this week. In addition to this program, our daily Airborne-Unlimited episodes covering the entire aviation and aerospace world are streamed Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and tweet us. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. And more information on the innovative world of all things unmanned at AUVSI.org and airborne-unmanned.net. We'll see you next week.